have all the reasons to be thrilled today, and rightful reasons, let me tell you, because Meba Ofilia has been a name that's been on my list of people that I want to interview from the scene from a really long time. And when I say a really long time, this goes back to years of, her being one of the few female rappers that we had. I mean, back in the day when I was actively a part of, the radio industry that tracked names and popular names of women rappers who are famous in the scene. Back then there used to be these really ridiculous lists of always slotting the women in one category while the men are spoken about in a different category, and they are the ones who are popularized. While for women, the list used to be it used to appear pretty tokenist. But that's when it's been since then that I have followed Meba's work along with all the other amazing women that we have in the Indian hip hop scene today. But Meba, but for that long introduction aside, thank you so much for taking the time out for speaking to me on VJ's playlist. I'm truly thrilled, and it goes beyond saying, but thank you so much for taking out the time. And firstly, how are you doing? Which is my favorite question that I'd like to begin our conversation with.
Yeah, you were saying?
I was saying, how are you doing? Which is my favorite question.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing good.
Well, we are here to discuss about your latest single, Your Love. But before that, I have to begin by congratulating you for Untitled She. It was truly an amazing album, an album that had taken its own time and in its own course, but something that really reflected everything about you as an artist and as an individual. And it emerged as possibly a huge favorite among every indie publication last year. So firstly, congratulations are in order.
Thank
But
you.
having said that, Meba, with Your Love, there is this amazing collaboration that sees you team up with Dapist. He's possibly one of the up and coming emerging talents from the Northeast, and then there's also Izamode. So firstly, how did Your Love fall in place? How did this collaboration happen, and what was it that you were looking to express through this song, and how did Dapist and Izamode bring in their influences and energies into it?
So Isamud and I met through Instagram. I think it was 2020. He sent me this file of beats that he wanted me to jump on. He said you could pick one. So I heard this and I was like, okay, this is the track. I don't know what I'm gonna write on it, but this is the one that I want to do because it's different. And I feel like I wanted to attempt something fun, not so serious. Because with my album, I feel like it was a little bit serious. So I sat with the track for a good year. I didn't know who to call for collaboration or if I wanted to do it by myself. But I think it was around 2022 that I asked Dapis, I asked him, I said, hey, do you want to jump on this track? And we actually performed it live in Bangkok. So we went to Bangkok and we performed it there live, and we saw that it kind of moved a few people. So I said, okay, he's the right person for this. And yeah, it just happened like that. So yeah, I'm very grateful for the collaboration. He's actually the highlight of the song. Dap is the highlight of the song, yeah.
Absolutely. And maybe because this song talks about love, and we are living in a rather distorted space right now, where I believe I was just having an interaction about this very same subject with another artist yesterday, and she said that we live in a day and age of communication, but unfortunately, connection is a rare thing to find today. So what are your opinions as somebody? Of course, we all feel the need at one point in our life to find some kind of connection, find something that keeps us centered and calm. So what is Meba's idea of love?
I think having a sense of loyalty
Hmm.
is love. Could be any kind of love, doesn't have to be romantic love.
Yeah.
I think having a sense of loyalty and anything that doesn't allow jealousy and ego to take over in a relationship, I think that is love. You know, no thought of jealousy, no thought of being envious comes up. And I think that is, I wouldn't say unconditional love, but that is love. Because I don't think unconditional love exists in real
Absolutely.
life or something. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we all have our
there's no such thing
yeah,
as
we all have our
connection.
priorities and boundaries and stuff. But yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, boundaries is important because I mean, I would like to believe that a bit of unconditional also applies that each other's partners, they understand that yes, there are certain limitations sometimes, and sometimes a person can feel empty. You can't be pouring out of an empty cup on days when
Yeah.
are not really going your way. But more than unconditional, Meba, I feel that things today are very transactional. Like it's like, okay, if I've done this for you, then this is what I expect from you. Okay, if do you agree to it?
I feel like, I mean, if you find the right person who doesn't really expect that, then that's good. But at the same time, I feel like if someone is doing so much for me, I think it affects my conscience to just, okay, I should do this as well because this person is doing
Ah,
so much for me, even though it's not mentioned, it's not brought up in the conversation. So yeah, I think it's
the
pretty
pressure
evident
gets to
in
you.
today's. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I think I relate to that because I mean, it happens with me also that when I get I mean, I've been so used to just being giving all the time that suddenly when
Hmm.
once in a while when that sort of affection or that sort of I won't say reciprocal, when that sort of courtesy or just a good act of kindness just comes my way once in a while, I get really weird out. So I understand what you mean. But coming back to your
Yeah.
music, Meba, unfortunately, you're one of the very few female hip hop acts that we have in our country. What in your opinion, or where in your opinion have we as a society failed to empower more women in hip hop? Because like I mean, like I said at the start of my introduction, when we talk about women in hip hop, we have the exact 5, 6, or max 10 names. But why haven't we been able to create as many women in hip hop as the men in comparison?
I think because of the fact that it is predominantly a male genre, it's very gritty and raw. So it is not very much expected of women to behave in that way. And I think the society, the older generation, obviously, cannot look at, a woman doing that kind of genre.
Hmm.
But at the same time, so for example, if I release a song, I make my parents listen, they'll be, what are you saying? I have no idea what you're saying. So I get that a lot. So, but the community as a whole, we have a pretty strong community.
Yeah,
The women in hip hop, we have a pretty strong community, and every day I see on Instagram, my friends, Wild Women, DMC, every day we're just like
absolutely
going
flowing.
off. So, so yeah, we're just taking our time, I think. Yeah, we're not forcing it on other people. We're just
Absolutely.
doing our thing, and it's evident. So yeah. And the process, I think, is pretty organic. So that's what I'm really liking. So yeah.
What I really personally appreciate about our women in hip hop, Meba, is that if they start talking about, if they start addressing, pressing issues through their art, they ideally stick to that. I mean, in comparison, when I see the men, I see them, okay, yeah, it starts with wanting to address, things, pertinent issues and concerns around them. And then it eventually deviates to, talking about cars, girls, and booze. And, that pretty much becomes the narrative. Uh, I mean, I remember once I had a chat about this with Siri from Bengaluru, for those who do not know. And she said that for women, especially in hip hop, like rap becomes a tool for us to express and actually voice what we feel. Do you agree with that?
Definitely, definitely. But for me, I mean, I've been there, I've done that. I've raised a few issues through hip hop. I've done local raps in my mother tongue.
Hmm.
But I feel like as a person, this is just my opinion. As a person, I go through changes.
Hmm.
So there are days when I think of, oh, I wanna voice this cause or talk about this thing that's going on, but I'm not in a good place emotionally, so I just choose not to instead.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair, that's okay, because we have a lot of, we have, I think, for the fact that I have a lot of responsibilities at home as the only daughter as well. So,
Oh,
there's this thing that I have to just kind of like divide my time and stuff. So sometimes I just don't talk about these causes. I read about them, I know about them, but I just don't talk about it. But I feel the pressure from my community, from the people. Hey, why aren't you talking about this? So,
oh,
and then just some days I'm just not emotionally in a good place, and I think that's okay.
that's okay.
But it
Absolutely.
is, but it is definitely a tool for us to express ourselves.
So, Meba, as a young girl, as a young woman, while you were growing up, how did it come to you? Or, what was the immediate influence in your surroundings that kind of led you to believe that, yes, your calling lies in hip hop and this is what you're good at? Uh, I mean, so many of us who aren't really aware of your initial journey, how did you discover this knack of weaving words together?
So I come from a family of musicians. So I grew up with music my whole life, and I actually I never wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be more of a
Oh,
singer-songwriter, because I was drawn towards, big singers like Whitney Houston with big voices and stuff. But there was this one time I wrote a verse and I recorded. It was a rap verse. I recorded, I think that was in 2016, 2015, and I recorded, and the recording engineer said, "Hey, whoa, oh
whoa!
shit, sorry."
Ow. It's okay, no problem.
And the recording engineer said that, okay, back to what I was saying. Oh my goodness, I am so done.
Your phone
I'm
is,
just gonna leave it there.
yeah, yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
best. Right.
yeah. So there was this one time I recorded a verse and I made my, friends listen. And the recording engineer said, "Hey, Meba, you know what? I think you shouldn't rap yet." And I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fine. I just started writing at that time. And it was only in 2018 that I jumped in with Big Ree and he said, "Hey, I think you should rap." And I'm like, "Hey, you know what? No." And he said, "No, this verse that you wrote for blah, blah, blah for singing, we should turn into a rap." So, so with his guidance and with his, help, yeah, I just turned into this rapper. It's nothing deep about it. It just happened.
It was just
I
banter.
actually wanted to be an athlete. I actually
It was
wanted to be
just
an
that.
athlete.
Wow. It was just a
Yeah.
banter with a friend that led to
Yeah.
you finding, I mean, that, okay, wow, I can rap. Because I
Yeah,
love
yeah. It was
the
it
way.
was exactly like that. It was exactly like that. I'm like, whoa, okay, I can do this. Like, okay. So yeah, I mean, if you can write, that works.
But since you said you wanted to be an athlete, I mean, I'm sure it's not too late if why not? I mean, if that's still on at the back of your mind somewhere, I mean, I'm sure you might want to pursue that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still want to play basketball. I still want to do track events, and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time. So, and you come home late night and you get up early in the morning, you go to the field. It's not a good good start for me.
Well,
I can't divide my brain. It's like I have to, focus on one. So yeah, doesn't work for me.
remember, how do you manage to I don't know if you manage to in a way, but from what I understand is uh, you put yourself out in the public space. You sometimes do these really cool, amazing music videos when when you're collaborating with other artists. You do, of course, associate with brands sometimes because I mean, post a the success of a mainstream movie, which focused on Indian hip hop. Brands really started falling in the way of a lot of a lot of young hip hop artists, but for uh, some admirable reason that I can think of, you managed to like stay away from the public glare in a certain way, like you sort of disconnect yourself from all the paraphernalia that surrounds the whole scene. So is that a conscious effort, or is it just a very uh, unaware decision that you feel that okay, you know what, as much as I stay away from all of this, it becomes instrumental for me to focus in my art?
No, it's a conscious thing that I've decided. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm just, gonna back off a little bit. I'm not gonna put myself out there. I don't need to broadcast my life. It's fine. So yeah, it's a conscious decision.
Which ideally is the way to be, but is it easy, Meba, actually, considering that we are living in a very, very competitive age, and everyone is trying to jostle for a little bit of space here there. Do you feel that as much as people organically discover you, that's the kind of discoverability and visibility you want? Or like how do you kind of play that gamble? Because I mean, the out of sight, out of mind notion is pretty much prevalent everywhere.
Yeah. Um, I don't know, honestly. I honestly do not know. I just It's just like, okay, I have a song now. So I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this. And if the song is good, it'll reach out to people. If not, it's fine. So yeah, that's how I go about life. I don't like the idea of shoving my music down people's throats.
Amazing.
So so yeah. So if they find it, well and good. If they don't, it's fine by me. Yeah.
So you create to express, not impress. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I think we can say that. I mean, I tried to press. I mean, I tried. There are a few times when I find myself, hey, what am I trying to do? Like, I find myself doing these reels on Instagram sometimes, which I do not post. I attempt to do them, I shoot them, and then on a second thought, I'm like, what am I trying to do? And then I just back off. Yeah.
Lastly, Meba, before we conclude, we have to talk about Untitled Shillong, your amazing album in 2022 that really swooned, indie publications, and it was clearly a universal favorite amongst all of us. Like everyone I can think of, including myself, all of us hailed it as one of the best albums to have come out in 2022. Of course, you also performed some of the songs from the album at the NH7 weekend in Pune. There was a crowd that danced along, vibed along, sang along with the songs of the album. But of course, it was an album that was not an easy one for you. You went through a whole lot of transition while making that. There was a pandemic. There were the lockdown constraints, and you went through all the beats possible. Now when you look at the kind of reception and the kind of warmth that people have showered over Untitled Shillong, how do you look at all of it, and how do you feel about having gone through all of it, and you feel like, yeah, now it's that was worth it?
I'm very proud of the fact that the album got the attention that it deserved. Took me 5 years to write it. And the fact that I sang more, which is a part of me that I've ignored for so many years. So yeah, I'm actually proud of the feelings. I'm actually lot of feelings. It's one of the songs that I wrote during the pandemic. It's a
Feelings is
very
my
dark.
favorite song from the album, I have to say. Yes. And most days.
So it's
Yes.
about, yeah. So yeah, most days is a good song too. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I
But
interrupted.
yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with whatever, it received, what the love, the hugs. I'm very proud of it.
Oh, well, if this was not a Zoom conversation and if it was an in-person conversation, I would really like to extend a hug to you, Meba, because uh, just a very sister thing on my part, because I am so proud of all the women that I listen to. I mean, I am just sitting in my own little confine and, plugging in my headphones and listening to these amazing thoughts and words that are put together, through so many amazing voices like you. And what you guys do is beyond magical. And the fact that you're really, are at it every day and you'll put, so much of yourself out there, against every tide, that, comes to, kind of stumble you, that kind of, poses a hindrance before you. You guys just overpower all of them and you give us such amazing music. So firstly, thank you so much as a listener and as someone who has been following the Indian independent music scene for so long. And secondly, thank you so much, Meba, for doing this episode for On VJ's playlist. I mean, I having started this channel, I can say that I really live for such conversations. And the fact that you took the time out to speak to me today, it's truly overwhelming. And I feel truly blessed in a sense. But thank you so much, Meba. And I wish you all the very best. And hopefully, the next time that you are in Mumbai, because I don't know when am I ever coming to Shillong, considering that I really rarely step out of the city due to the very thankless nature of my job or my life in general. But wherever you're in Mumbai, I hope we get a chance to meet soon. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we will meet whenever I'm in Mumbai.